Hello world and welcome to the next video. The US Senate voted to acquit former President Trump over the insurrection, over his involvement of incitement. It was a 57-43 vote. 7 Republicans joined the Democrats to vote to convict, but as we know, you need 2/3 vote. So the 43 Republicans who voted to acquit did succeed. President Trump released a statement in which he thanks his team of lawyers and explains how he believes his movement has just begun. Here's the quick status of the 7 GOP members who did vote to convict. Burr is retiring, Toomey's retiring, Cassidy is not in the next election, Collins not in the next election, Sass not in the next election. Murkowski has won despite losing Republican primary. I'm not sure exactly what that means, has won. And Romney voted to convict last time. Oh, interesting. So Senator Murkowski did lose the primary. Joe Miller was the official person running, but as a write-in candidate, Murkowski still won. Wow, that's quite incredible. Anyway, the point is a lot of these folks felt pretty safe to vote to acquit, apparently, politically wise. Romney made a statement about voting to convict. He's concluded that President Trump is guilty of the charge made by the House of Representatives. He attempted to corrupt the election by pressuring the Secretary of State of Georgia to falsify the election results in his state, and he incited the insurrection against Congress by using the power of his office to summon his supporters to Washington on January 6th, and urging them to march on the Capitol during the counting of electoral votes. The outcry in response to the acquittal has caused Leave the GOP to trend on Twitter. As you see here, some people are calling the GOP the GQP in reference to the anonymous online group that's been posting messages for many years now. People are calling them morally bankrupt. A lot of people have said if inciting an insurrection is not something you can be impeached and convicted for, then what can you be convicted for as far as being president goes? I will have to dig deeper into the specific numbers on individuals leaving the Republican Party, although I have heard that there is a trend of measurable number of people leaving. President Joe Biden made a statement about the acquittal. He says, in short, today, 57 senators, including a record 7 Republicans, voted to find former President Trump guilty for inciting that deadly insurrection on our very democracy. The Senate vote followed the bipartisan vote to impeach him by the House of Representatives. While the final vote did not lead to a conviction, the substance of the charge is not in dispute. Even those opposed to the conviction, like Senate Minority Leader McConnell, believe Donald Trump was guilty of a disgraceful dereliction of duty and practically and morally responsible for provoking the violence unleashed on the Capitol. So yes, there was a speech by McConnell in which he torches Trump over being responsible for the insurrection, despite McConnell voting to acquit. So McConnell's point is that he should not be punished politically, but he is guilty, which really is a backflip or twist of politics to make such an argument. And also, many people are now speculating that at the moment, Trump is free and clear to run in 2024. And it's true that President Trump, former President Trump, does still hold a firm grasp on the Republican Party. Based on polls, he is still a favorite, in most polls, the favorite, to be the nominee in 2024. So what we're going to have to see is if Democrats can have a substantive opposition and, in fact, make some progress and successes for the American people so that they have an alternative that they enthusiastically vote for. Because in all honesty, the 2016 election, the 2020 election, neither one was really a landslide. So we're right on the edge of a coin flip between Trump's party and the Democratic Party. And it's more important than ever that we have an actual strategy for combating that. Democrats cannot be business as usual. They should not be. They should be listening to what the voters in fact want. We can't do this corporatist Democratic Party anymore. We really need to be populist, real populist, not fake populist. For example, this stuff about the stimulus checks, about how the Democratic Party lowered the amount. Now, you can say, oh, maybe that is what they meant. They sent the $600 checks and they were going to send $1,400 more. But the point is, why would you make such a beef over cutting the checks by a few $100s just to alienate people? Simple stuff like that is why people hate politics and get caught up in all of the hatred and anger. because a politician says one thing and does completely the opposite. Or, moments later, talks out of the other side of his mouth and changes his opinion. So we need real economic relief for the Americans struggling at this time. GoFundMes for things related to COVID and lost jobs and medical debt and stuff, it's all through the roof, record highs of people actually just requesting money from people they know online because we're in an economic crisis. So we cannot go small on the economic relief to get businesses up and running again and to get individuals on their feet. We must go big. And if we don't go big enough and the economy does not recover, then Democrats are going to have a lot of trouble in upcoming elections. Because like it or not, President Trump does have a lot of popularity in a certain segment of the population. Now, if the Democratic Party can form a coalition where they are picking up a lot of these non-voters with more populist policies, then Trumpism will not be able to compete. But unless we do that, unless the Democrats do that, then it's a real threat. And we would be slowly moving towards fascism. So it's very important for Democratic voters to make their opinions clear to their Democratic representatives and also to raise awareness in any ways they can, because we have to push back on the corporate establishment. We can't have corporate establishment Democratic policies. That will not do. We need more populist policies moving forward. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy my commentary, please like this video, comment, and subscribe.